नहीं हम लाइव करेंगे तब ना उसको रिफ्रेश कर दीजिए
जस्ट ऊपर से ये करें ड्रॉप करेंगे तो हो जाएगा रिफ्रेश ना
हेलो हेलो एवरीवन तो वॉल्यूम कम कर लीजिए Am I audible? If you can see and hear me properly, just write down in the comments. Hello Hemangi, Priyadarshini, Maz, Alpana Chaudhary, Ankit Tiwari. Just let me know in the comments if you can hear me properly. Okay, good evening everyone. Good evening. Okay, so let's start the session as we won't be taking much of your time because we already know that your exam has been preponed and many of you are already in a very panicky situation. I have received a lot of messages from students asking for why the exam has been preponed and what to do now. The exam was from the past few years, the exam usually used to be held in the month of August or beyond August, September. And this year it has been preponed to 31st of July. So a lot of students are already panicking in this situation. But one thing I would like to tell to all of the students is, see, the situation is same for everyone. The situation is same for all the students who have been preparing, whoever students have been preparing for AIPGT 2023. Everyone was of the notion, everyone was having this idea that the exam is going to be in the month of September or October. But this sudden preponement of the exam has taken everyone aback. So first, just keep your mind calm. Just think that this is a situation that is going on in the mind of everyone. Everyone is in this panic situation. But the remaining month that you are having, which is probably 2 months or even less than 2 months. So this is the time that all of you have to completely utilize it. Each and every minute of this 2 months is of utmost important. And even the toppers, you might be thinking that my preparation is not complete. A lot of you might be thinking, and I believe that all of you must be thinking, okay, yes, it is audible. So a lot of you might be thinking, or everyone might of you might already be thinking that my preparation is not complete. How will I appear in the examination in such a short span of time? But remember that even the toppers, the student who is gonna top this exam, or even the person who is gonna crack this exam, they are also in the same field. They are also in the same mental state as you are. So keep that aside. Just think that you have got 1.5 months of time and prepare accordingly. Now, what we will prepare, how to prepare, that we will be informing you, that we will be telling you. And important thing is, I'll be giving you a few important topics like the past year and the year before that. As I always discuss the gold and halwa topics. So those are the topics that you need to focus basically for the exam. Those are just the minimum requirement that I tell you. Okay, these are the basic topics, these are the basic things that you should be studying. Chances are, those are my predictions. Okay, exam you get questions at least from these topics. These topics you have to study. You can study, and it is better that you should study beyond these topics as well. But these are the topics that you should be studying. Without studying these topics, it is very, very risky to go into the exam. Okay, so first of all, we also have Dr. Nazra Ahmed with us, and she will be telling you about the materials and the methodology. Basically, you have this 2 months of time. So what is the methodology that you should be opting? How you need to prepare in these 2 months? That is the main question in the mind of most of the students right now. Okay, how do I study? From where do I study? Or most important, I'll study this much in the month of May, I'll study this much in June and this much in July, then in August. But the thing is now, you have to study everything that you have planned in this 2 months. So what are the things that you will study, why you have to study, from where you will study, what are the materials that you have to study, what are the books that you should study, whether you should be only solving MCQs now or whether you should be going for textbooks. So these are the things that we'll be discussing in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So Dr. Narayan, can you please start?
Good evening, everyone. And as Dr. Taha said that everyone in panic situation, but we all know that who will crack, who cracked that panic. Okay, so everyone in panic situation, but we have to prepare in such a manner that we will crack. Okay, so for that we need some materials. Definitely for any war we need some materials, some armamentariums and some methodology by which we can win. So for our material, that is most important material are the books and the test papers. These two are your most important material. And for truly speaking, you didn't have 2 months, but you have just 1 month from tomorrow now. 1 month is 23 days only. So time is very important, and not for this preparation, but on the exam day, time is also very important. So from now, your preparation is in such a manner that on the day of examination, you will be able to do that question in that much time. That is very important. You are studying that fashion, that manner, that method. So regarding the books, first I will discuss the material area, that is the book area. For book, today I'll say what you have to avoid, that is most important. What you should not do, that is most important, rather than what you will do. Most important, don't go for any kind of new books, new material, new papers. Don't waste your time. What you have studied, what book you have referred, whatever, that is sufficient. Reading less book, more revision is towards success. That is the key of success. Reading a lot of books, but revision is very less or no revision, you didn't succeed.
Yeah,
so
means right now what will happen is your friends will tell ke FMT study from this because this is a very nice book. I have studied FMT from this, so better you study from this. Other friend will say कि I have studied pharmacy from this या medicine from this book. ये book बहुत अच्छा है, short में MCQs बहुत अच्छा से solve कर देगा. So study this book. Now this is gonna happen with you. So that is what she wants to say कि don't switch your book. If you have been studying some book for FMT, some book for practice of medicine, don't bother what your students are, what your friends are gonna say. कि ये book पढ़ लो, वो book पढ़ लो. Switching book is the
dangerous,
is the lethal thing that you're gonna do. You are switching book at the last moment because new books you will need some time to adapt to new book. Okay, you might get few MCQs which are new in those books, but don't switch books. Whatever you have been studying from wherever you have been studying from Pulse material, study that. You have been studying from some PG plus, study that. Don't switch books, especially the MCQ books also. You have been studying MCQ books for, suppose you have been solving MCQs from PG plus. Now your friend will say that I have been solving from ROMs and I think that is better. So at the last moment, we will think, okay, let us solve few MCQs. Let us see what ROMs let us see we'll get some new MCQs from ROMs. Don't do that.
Only one area you can go for new, that is very important chart. If you are getting very important chart which is not included in your study, but that is very important for the exam purpose. Just like example, in Turning Point book, one chart regarding organ of medicine has been given regarding first edition, second edition, fourth edition. That is very nicely given in Turning Point, but not in the other books. That type of note you are getting. So for that, just one note, just take a snapshot, xerox copy, or anything of that page only, not the whole book. Or you can, if you are studying from Pulse study material, that is very good. If you are not studying from, so Pulse material also have some very nicely presentation of any topic. If you have Pulse study material medicine notes, that is CVS topic, page number 2, JVP, jugular venous pulse. So in that page, you will get JVP at a glance in one page, whatever the information regarding the JVP has been given, any MCQ can be solved by the help of that page, because diagrammatic representation of JVP is over there. What is the abnormality of JVP is there, what is normal regarding JVP is there, and the most beneficial of that note is that MCQ in the previous year, what has been done, also given over there. That means you have an idea from that note that what will be the framing of that question from that area. So if this type of note you are getting, so you can take that note, but not every fresh new note which have no any information. Don't go for that. It's better to revise what you have studied, what you have underlined, what you have noted down. That is better. Definitely, your selection of book is a definite area. That means your book selection of book, your groups, it must contain a type of book which have no type of study, which have MCQ practice at least more than 500 for each subject, and a book which have some diagrammatic representation, some mnemonics. This type of book definitely you have to follow. Next is your test paper. Test paper is very important. It's a indispensable tool for your exam, because whatever you have studied a lot. Even though you have studied Davidson, if you didn't practice the MCQ, you won't be able to do the question in the examination hall. Even though if you will do that question in the examination hall, but in that condition you will do that question in longer time. If you have the practice on that question, that area, that material, it becomes easy to solve that question in the examination day. So it is very important to do MCQ practice on that particular subject, particular topic which you have studied. So must do test after reading any subject or any topic, but that you will decide, because time is very short. You will decide, I have complete in one day one chapter, or one day one subject, and then after I will sit for the exam for that particular subject, for that particular topic. It is better for now you make a routine that I will discuss later on in the method, and according to routine you will sit for the exam. That is beneficial for you. Test is also two types. Number one test, that is reading just the test paper. That means you know the answer, just reading the question and the answer, correct answer. This mistake every student do. They will at the last moment they will study the all options. This is wrong method. In the last moment, when 2 months is only, we have not the 2 months, just 1 month and 23 days. At that moment you will study the question and the correct answer, because we have a memory where the answer is stored, where the terms are stored, not the answer, where the terms we have studied that has been stored, and that click on the day of examination when we studied that, when we read the question again. So if you read the all four options, that all four will be buzzing in your mind on the day of exam. So from today now, try to study the question and the correct answer. This is for 2 months. In 2 months strategy, this is the process. The question and the correct answer. Not the other options, not the explanations, not that one. There, we have not that much time. If anyone student have that much stamina, then go for that. That is exceptional.
And one thing I would like to just tell you, that as we are going into the live, as we are discussing, you can just bring a piece of paper and pen and write down the key points, because I don't want you to watch this video again after the live stream has ended. Obviously, this video will be available in the channel, but watching this video is gonna it is gonna take another 1 hour of time. Okay, so it will be a wastage of time. So while you are watching, just write down the key points, that this is the thing that you need to do, this is the thing that you don't need to do.
So this is very important, that you must go through the last 5-year question paper, and the process is that question and the correct answer, question and the correct answer. Okay, this is one thing that all students must have to do, this last 5-year question. Why I'm telling this? Because if you go through the last 5-year question and previous 5-year question, you must get about 20 to 30 questions are coming from the previous year question paper. Sometimes directly the question comes. So it will save your time. Time is very important. On the examination day, 120 minutes, 120 question. So the student who will fast and correct answer. Who will do fast and correct answer, that will do the paper easily, because paper contain lot of type of pattern of question. When I'm discussing, I will tell you how to manage the time. Now focus, that is must go through the last 5-year question. Next test type, that is your evaluation test type. That means when you complete a subject, when you complete a topic, after that feedback, how much you have learned and how much spent you have to give again in that subject, that you will get from your feedback test. So that you can go for any कोचिंग, कोई भी कोचिंग का टेस्ट लेते हो आप, ले सकते हो, पल्स का टेस्ट लेते हो, हमारे यहाँ कहीं कुछ भी कर सकते हो। तो लेकिन करो, practice is very very important, and practice on a platform that is similar to the Aiapget, that is beneficial to you, that Pulse provide. So test is very important. Next is your methodology. For methodology, I always recommend, if you have less time, 1 month time, 2 month time before exam, it's better to make a routine. Just like in our school days, we have a routine now. Every day, from 10 to 11 maths period, then English period, then a break time, then after some weeks unit test. So why they given routine? Because routine makes our preparation better. So here you also make your routine, but that routine is different from our childhood. Here we make our routine according to our need, according to our strength. And that routine has been divided into 2 parts. We have how many days left? 1 month, 23 from tomorrow onwards. 1-2 day might be lost in some work. And one more thing, from today now, from now, forget all the events, party, any type of involvement other than Aiapget 2023 preparation. Okay, so you have 50 days you have. So this 50 days you will graph in paper dividing into 30 and 20. Why 30 and 20? 30 days is your for re-study, not new study, re-study. And 20 days is for your revision. Okay, take a paper, make 8 June, 9 June, like that, up to 20 June, 21 June, 20, till 30 years is completed. Sorry. Next, after 31 day, again start up to 29 July, not 30 July. 30 July, make blank. Make free. I will tell what you will do in 30 July. Because 31st is your exam. 30th July, make blank. So make your routine 30 day, 20 day. In 30 day, you will re-study your subjects, and in 20 day, you will revise those subjects. Now, one question in your mind, that in 30 day, the routine is based on what? Which subject will be given more weightage? Which subject will be given more time, or which will be given less time? Definitely, this must have a criteria, and that criteria can be evaluated by 2 ways. Number one, by knowing the ratio of the question in the paper, whatever said by the Ayush government, which you are going to give the exam, and weightage of the subject also. As for example, 120 question is there. Okay, out of 120 question, everywhere 60 questions are from homeopathy and 60 questions from allied. I'm assuming this can be varied. This can be 55, 65, this can be 40, 70, like that. But in most of the papers, the scenario is that homeopathy have some less. That means 5 question less and 5 question more on towards the allied. Allied portion is also big, homeopathic portion also small. But keep in your mind that a small question, less question, 45 question is your main question. That is the main area. 45 question, 55 question, whatever question coming from the homeopathic area, that is your main area, main zone that will enter you in the rank. And that allied area, that is 65 question, 60 question, whatever that will decide your rank, whether you are first rank, second rank, third rank, that like. Okay, so your preparation towards homeopathic side is absolutely strong. No, not a single question will be left. I told you, not a single. You will try to do each and every question correct, because most of the questions are directly from the previous 5 years question. Most of the questions are from some guidebooks which you are following. Direct questions, direct statement, direct questions. No any their modification. Modification is very rare. Only modification nowadays, little bit modification in the change of pattern of question. When they are changing the assertion type, when they are changing in the statement type of question. If the direct question is from the homeopathic field, that was very easy question, and it is confirmed that the student who will rank that definitely do that easy question. So don't lose that question. Please prepare your homeopathic area very nicely. Next is your allied area. In allied area is also some area, in allied area in some less weightage, more weightage subjects. As for example, if you go for anatomy about 4 to 5 question will come. If you go to PSM, it's about 4 to 5 question.
One second, one viewer is saying that please speak in Hindi. Just comment in the comment section from which state you are, so that we have an idea whether people will understand Hindi or you won't understand Hindi. So accordingly, we'll try to either speak in Hindi or in English or both. So just comment from which state you are.
Okay, so if you consider the marks distribution, in anatomy, it is 4 to 5 question. PSM 4 to 5 question, FMT 3 to 4 question, gynecology 8 to 10 question, gynae and ops both. Gynae is not a separate from ops. Gynae ops is a common subject, and you will get 8 to 10 question from there. From 6 to 8 from surgery, 20 to 25 from physiopathomedicine. You are given that a big area from physiopathomedicine, but that big area is a big loophole. The question is coming in very great number, but those questions are difficult questions. 50% difficult and 50% easy. 50% you definitely do. Go with that. But 50% questions are difficult question and rare questions. So don't on the examination day, don't run away on that question. Or on time of preparation also, don't go for rare topics. First prepare the common topics. If you get much more time, or if you are in re-study period, you are knowing that, evaluating that yourself, I know all the common things, there is no need of reading the common things, then definitely in the re-study period you will go for the rare things. But in the revision period, only revise what you have studied. So according to the marks distribution, time importance, what time you have to give for each subject depends. For anatomy, just give your 16 to 20 hours, not more than 16 to 20 hours in this whole 50 days. You will divide yourself when you will study anatomy, in the early morning or in the afternoon, in 8th June or on the 25 July. This decide by yourself. Why? Because one famous stalwart said that a repertory made by yourself is the best repertory. So a routine made by yourself, by the evaluation of your any mock test. For your information, Pulse is going to hold a NET mock test on 15 June, right now? 15 June. So if any
in the month of June and 2 in the month of July.
2 in the month of June and 2 in the month of July. So July is very far. So those students who want to evaluate themselves or they are making routine, they can join 15th June mock and evaluate themselves, that where they have to give more strength, in which subject give more time or less time, like that. So for PSM, 10 to 12 hours is sufficient. Why PSM 10 to 12 hours? PSM takes lot of time, even though PSM is equivalent to medicine subject, because what PSM have? Everything: nutrition, family planning, medicine, common disease, uncommon disease, uncommunicable, communicable, statistics, contraception, everything is in their PSM. So if you are running towards PSM, and just only getting 4 or 5 questions, but that means what I'm telling, just try to understand. I'm laboring much, but getting less. It's not useful, no? I'm laboring less and I'm getting more. That is useful. So spending time behind PSM means foolishness. You just spend 10 to 12 hours or hardly 15 hours in whole 50 days, I'm telling. For FMT, 10 hours is sufficient, because FMT is so small topic and the notes are so summarized that you will get question very easily in very short time preparation. So it's my special recommendation that read FMT and attempt FMT question, because chances of fallacy is less over there. Generally in FMT, what they ask in toxicology, staining they ask, timings they ask. That means modification is very less and questions many times repeated. Match the column is also very easy. If they are giving one side poisoning and one side they are giving the poison, so if you know the three poison, fourth is automatically correct. You will correct. So for FMT, don't left FMT, I say.
The many students are from South as well, so I think they won't be comfortable if we speak in English, speak in Hindi, sorry. So I think we'll continue speaking in English. And as we speak, you might have a lot of doubts that you want to ask. So just write down in the chats below. Once this session is over, we'll just go through the questions that you have posted and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can.
Next in gynae-ops, yes, gynae-ops is very scoring area. Here you also labor hard. About 15 to 16 hours you have to give for gynae-ops. Gynae-ops questions sometimes become little bit difficult, but this area scoring area, not the new question you will get, no modification. You will get as in the books, as in the notes. Next is your physiopathomedicine. Okay, physiopathomedicine. This is the area as I told. 50% question. 50% means 15 question, because 20 to 25 question is coming from this area. Physiopathomedicine, common general physiology, general pathology, all together. Because there are some questions which might be from physio, might be from patho, might be from medicine, might be from surgery, might be from PSM. This question is common to all subject. As for example, nutrition, vitamin A, night blindness, xerophthalmia, the degeneration. So this might be a question of pathology. This might be a question of physiology. So there is no demarcation. You just keeping in mind. Some questions are dustbin question. Throw in the bin. कुछ आता मोबाइल में हम लोग का dustbin, throw in the bin. So there must be some question which you have to throw in the bin. So on the day of exam, you don't waste time behind those questions. So from now, by preparation also, those area like gene configuration, don't study those area. Study those area which is important for your exam. And last one, miscellaneous. From here you will get about 1 to 5, not more than 5 questions. And in miscellaneous you have to study a lot. Pediatrics, ENT, eye, dental, microbiology, etc. Or anything can come. Orthopedic, lots of things. So in miscellaneous, you are just getting 1 to 5 questions and you have to study a lot. So for miscellaneous, my recommendation that those students who have studied before, by that knowledge you will run. If you want to do more on that area, just read the MCQ, not the materials. Okay, not the whole disease, what is trachoma, what is the clinical feature of trachoma, not go through like that. If question come from that area, either by the intellectuality you can do or left that one. Next, the marks distribution of the homeopathic subject. In Materia Medica, 15 to 20 question. Keep in your mind, Allen is essential. Essential means essential. Your preparation is also from Allen, and on the day of exam, you also try to attempt all questions from the Allen. Boric, Kent, Nash, definitely question come from that area also. But that question is difficult for everyone, not for one student or two students. So if possible, to read this area from the practice book. That means when you are practicing MCQ from any book, they will contain some area for that question, or practicing question paper from our coaching pulse. So have area for that question also, for that subject also. So only read those questions, because the teacher who is preparing the question paper, who knows that which questions are important from those rare area. So reading that book is not a better option. Just read the MCQ from the MCQ practice book or the test papers. And most important, the last 5-year test papers. For Materia, Allen is again very important. And Materia pulse study material is also very good option, because in pulse study material, you will get all the notes at a glance. That means complementary, numerical, antidote, one by one. Then medicine, some only keep symptoms which are important for examination. Then comparative study of different medicine. Then under the heading of this system, different comparison. So it is very good for in a short period of time study. Next is the organ of medicine, pharmacy, and repertory. These are the highest scoring, less labor. That means these are the what Taha told gold topic na. This is a gold subject. Organ of medicine, pharmacy, repertory. Because organ contains 10 to 12 question, pharmacy 8 to 10, repertory 8 to 10. This 8 to 10 question of pharmacy and repertory na is very easy. Hardly if you these are definitely come from your note. Whatever you have studied in first class or study material or question paper, if you cover this all things, you definitely get these questions. The problem of a student that not attempting this question, that student take it easy. They will not go through the materials thoroughly, and the day of exam they will confuse with the options. So don't make any confusion in this area. This area must be perfect one. Only one thing you can left in this area which is difficult in the repertory portion, that is single medicine for symptom. That is an area where you can relax in this 2-month preparation. If you have old preparation, old memory of that single medicine, that is very sufficient, but not new readings. Organ of medicine, pharmacy, whatever you have studied in notes along with your MCQ practice and test paper, that is sufficient, and it will give you benefit in less time. Now in the routine that you have made your notebook, something which is very very essential and you have to note down your routine. Number one, proper sleep. Sleep for 6 to 8 hours. Every day. This keep in your mind until unless your mind is not refreshed, you will not get whatever you are giving. So every day 6 to 8 hours sleep. You will manage when you will sleep, night, morning, whatever. Meditation, pray, anything by which you can make your mind calm, at least half an hour in your routine. And next is very important, 1 hour for Materia Medica every day. Every day you will study Materia Medica. This 50 day, what you have in hand, every day you will study Materia Medica. Making your routine, on 8th June, I will study Materia Medica, Allen. On 9th June, Allen. On 10th June, Boric. On 11th June, relationship chapter. On 12th June, Rare. On 13th, like that you will divide material portion. But read Materia Medica every day. Materia Medica is the only subject where from you are getting 15 to 20 questions, and it is homeopathic subject, and you have to study it every day because comparative study is needed for Materia Medica. Okay. Next, organ of medicine, pharmacy, repertory is not need to be studied every day. This subject you can read at 2-day interval. As for example, on 8th June, if you are studying, if you are giving 2 hours for repertory, then on 9th or 10th June, there is no need of studying repertory. You can read pharmacy, then another day repertory. But keeping in mind, on every day must keep 2 hours for one homeopathic subject. If you divide your 1 day timing, you are getting 24 hours time. Out of this 24 hours, 6 to 8 hours your sleep, 1 hour you are keeping for your meditation, bath, lunch, dinner, whatever. 1 to 2 hours you have to do. Remaining 2 plus 2, 6 hours to 7 hours you are getting. Within this 6 to 7 hours, you will divide your allied subject, homeopathy subject, and Materia Medica. So within this 6 to 7 hours, 1 hour is for Materia Medica, 2 hours for any allied, then again 2 hours for any allied, 2 hours for homeopathy subject, and with the alternation of 2 days, keep one test over there instead of one homeopathy subject or instead of any allied subject. Keep one test over there for evaluation of what you have completed. And that test might be a mock paper, that test might be a subject paper, but must keep your test on. Like this, you will make your whole routine. Time is very short, and the routine is made by yourself. That is not by myself, because I don't know which subject you need more time or which subject you will need less time. Next is your last day. What I said, make free. Last day I told make free for you can make free 2 day also, 29th July and 30 July also. For those areas which are difficult to remember, which are not easily keep in your memory till the date of exam, short time memory keep like. So what are those areas? Those areas are years, values, है ना, वो सब याद नहीं रहता है. रेपर्टरी का जो ईयर्स है, फार्मेसी के जो इंडेक्स है, रिलेटिव इंडेक्स, रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स, एब्सोल्यूट अल्कोहल का वेट, volume by volume, weight by weight, they are two different.
Yeah, basically the flow charts.
Flow charts, yes.
You will get these kind of flow charts, these kind of data in each and every subject. And the problem with these data is that there are very high chance that you will get few MCQs from there. But the problem with these data is even if you have studied one day before, the night before exam, if you don't revise it on the morning day of the exam, you won't recollect. You will get confused because these data are so confusing. Okay, so make a list of all these kind of data that you find it difficult. This will be a custom made data because few data I find it easy to remember, but those data you find it difficult to remember. Few data you find it difficult, but you find it easy, but I find it difficult. So I will have to make few data, all the list of those portions, all those tables, all those charts that I know that I need to revise it once before entering the exam on the morning. So just make a list of all these things and make sure that you're revising on the day of the exam.
So keep free 29 July or 30 July or 30 July, whatever, depending upon your material. So this is your routine, and next is your exam pattern. So exam pattern nowadays, the pattern of question has been changed. If you go before 5 years back, then only direct question has been came. But now from last 3-4 years in Aiapget, they changed the pattern of exam. And if you go through the last year 22 paper, in this paper, out of 120 question, about 70 to 80 questions are direct questions, and 40 to 45 questions are assertion design, statement, and selection type of question. So it's a big area because those students who have ranked, they have attempted more than 90. So you have to attempt assertion design, selection, this type of question also, along with the direct question. This is not a way just you are attempting the direct question and you will got a fine gateway to the rank. But the process, first go to the direct questions, then assertion design or statement or selection, any type of question. Basically, there are 5 type of question: direct question, match the column type of question, statement type of question, selection type of question, and assertion design type of question. If you go for example, in 22 paper, orgasm of blood is mentioned in which chapter of Kent repertory? That is, answer is, student, you are a student and you just assume that you are in the examination hall and this is your question. Give answer. Orgasm of blood is mentioned in which chapter of Kent repertory? Your options are generalities, female genitalia, fever, head. Within 1 second, you are able to give the answer of this question. Okay. Now the next question. Next question is your match the column. Okay. Match the column. Okay, leave. I just show you how much time is taken for attempting the direct question. Leave. There is no much need of your answer. I know you all know the answer. Next is your type of question is the match the column type of question. 22 paper, if anyone have, so you can see question number 2 to 5 ID number, and question is match the column. One side there is some findings are there, and one side there is disease. In one side there is Burr cell, option A, option B, Ore rods. You can write on the paper for giving the answer. List one side, column one side. A is Burr cell, B is Ore rods, C is teardrop, D is schizocytes, and column 2. 1, option 1, acute myeloid leukemia, 2, uremia, 3, hemolytic anemia, 4, myelothysis. Okay, this you have done. Now option, write the option. Option is A2, B1, C1, sorry, C4, D3. Option 2, A1, B2, C3, D4. Option 3, A1, A4, B2, C3, D1. And last option 4 is A2, B3, C4, D1. All are written in the paper now. Now give me the answer. Which is the correct answer? I'll not wait much more. I know no one will be able to do this answer within 5 seconds. And even though 30 seconds, and we have in the examination hall 1 minute for one question. Still now I'm not getting the answer. We will wait 1 minute for this question? Proceed. Okay. So I'm not waiting. I know that this question will take time, this type of match the column type or any assertion design type. My concern is that direct type of question is very easy to do. So first, when Taha will do the rollout of the question, so first go to the direct question. And then go to the this type of question, match the column, statement, selection type of question, or assertion type of question, this type of questions. Okay, only in one case, this match the column is a little bit difficult. If you get very easy type of, like question number 185. Wait. Yes, 22 paper, ID number 185. If any student have 22 paper, go to the ID 185. In this question, match the column is very easy. One side they are giving the medicine of the Mathematica, and one side the symptoms. The symptoms are very easy, like that irritational talk or battle of his business aggravated after 3 p.m. Briny, everyone knows. Aversion to meat, cook, food, fish, salt. In the other side column, graphitis is there. Everyone knows graphitis. Wound that bleed easily but followed by pain, puffiness, coldness of part. That is Nidampal. So without giving any option, we can answer this type of question. So this type of match the column you can go easily. But those I want to say those areas which you don't know, which is not familiar to, which is not common to, which you have not which before to that paper you have not gone through that area. Don't touch that area. That will many cases negative marking brings. Assertion design, again the same thing. If you know the area, if you know the matter, go for the assertion design. Otherwise, there is more chances of going towards the negative zone. So first go to the direct questions, then second priority to the match the column, because in the match the column, if you know the 3 options, fourth is automatically corrected one. So first option is direct, then the match the column, then a statement type, because the statement type examiner has told you something. You just true or false. You are just making true or false, whether it is right or wrong. So it's also less time consuming. Next was your selection type. In selection type of question, I'm showing you example question 140 ID in 22 paper. 40, no? Yes. Tissue marker of CA 125 is raised in endometriosis, cervicitis, ciliary ovarian tumor, abdominal tuberculosis, cervical erosion. They are giving you the answer. They are telling you everything. You have to just decide whether it is right or wrong. So this type of question also takes less time. They are giving the option. Very much time taking is assertion design, because they are first thing is that you have to decide in 4 zones. First, you have to decide whether the assertion is right or wrong, whether the reason is right or wrong, whether the assertion is the right, whether the reason is the right reason of assertion. That means you have to think a lot. Your time wastage is more on that zone. So assertion design, or this type of question, if you know that area, definitely go with that. If you don't know that area, it's better to withhold. Or if you have very much time, if that paper contain less direct of question, all the assertion design type of question, all the statement type of question, then we have no option. No? Then we have to do. So this is the pattern. And one more thing regarding the pattern of question. These are the pattern of question which currently going on, but might be there changes. Might be change. What are the new change? Might be true false type they can make. Number 2, they can give you fill in the blanks type of question. Number 3, they can give you picture type of question. But don't panic on the day of exam. My concern is that don't panic. If there is change in the paper, that is not for you only, that is for the whole population. So don't panic in the exam. Whatever come in your question paper, if you know that area, if you understand that topic, you definitely able to do that question. Thank you.
Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to talk about is, see, you have prepared your exam, you have done your preparation. Now, on the day of the exam, a lot of things happens, or a lot of things are important that ultimately decides whether you are going to crack this exam or you're not going to crack this exam. So the one of those things is what you will be doing, how you will be attempting the paper once your exam has started. Once you have entered the exam and your computer on your computer screen, the papers have the questions have started displaying. So how do you go about attempting those papers? See, first of all, I'll tell you, when your exam starts, straight away start answering the questions. Okay, if you know the answer, mark it. If you don't know the answer, leave and move to the next question. Or there is, I think there is some option where you can come back later and just review that question. So you can mark for review and then again go forward to the next question without wasting any time. Okay, if and from question number 1 to question number 120, you go on doing like this. Okay, you got the first question, see it. If you know the answer to that question, fine, move on to mark it, move on to the next question. You know the answer to the second question, fine, mark it and move on to the third question. You don't know, leave it, move on to the fourth. You don't know, leave it. Means up to from 1 to 120 you need to do this. But there is an important trick that you should be applying while you are doing this. The trick is, you need to assess what is the difficulty level of this paper. Now, a lot of the students ask me on WhatsApp, and they even ask me on calls also, okay, what will be the cutoff marking of this particular exam? What should be the score that I need to score to get into a government college? See, these are all irrelevant questions. Okay, the top what score has means the score that the student has scored to get into exam last year might be different what you need to score this year, because the paper, the difficulty paper, the cutoff marks of last year exam will not necessarily match with this year exam, right? So you need to assess the difficulty level of that paper that you are attempting. And it is very natural, if the paper is difficult, the cutoff will be less. There will be less students who will be able to score more marks. So naturally you will also be able to score low marks. So if you are doing this correct assessment na, and even if you see that you are not able to answer a lot of questions, you won't panic, because you know that the paper is difficult. And you will also know that since it is difficult, so the marking will already be low, the cutoff is gonna be low. So you don't have to score very high. You don't need a very high score to crack that exam. You will know that even if you attempt the paper, even if your exam is just above average, you will be able to crack the exam. So on the day of the exam, while you are attempting, the first thing that you are doing is assessing the paper, whether it is difficult, whether this is easy. Okay, if the paper is easy, then you know that you have to take a lot of risk. Even if you are not able to answer a lot of questions, you know that you have to take risk. Okay, and if the paper is difficult, then you know that you don't have to take risk, because there is negative markings on this paper. And if you are taking risk, then you are already losing a lot of marks that you have gained by answering few of the correct questions. Okay, the second thing is, when you are attempting from 1 to 120, okay, after you have attempted 1 to 120, in the first attempt, the only question that I would recommend, the only question that you touch are the questions that you absolutely know the answer. You know that the answer that the whatever answer that you have given to that question, that is absolutely correct. Means even if the author of the book comes and tell you that no, this answer is wrong, what you have marked is wrong, you are going to argue with that author. You will have a good fight with the author that the answer that you have marked is correct and not the answer that the author is saying. So the first 1 to 120, when you are answering, you are only marking the answers to the questions that you are 100% correct, that you know that you are correct. Now, once you have done that, you just count the total answers that you are able to answer. The passing marks is 50%, right? So in out of 120 questions, if you have reached to 60 or 50, then you know that already you are very behind. You are very behind, very much behind the competition, because you are just able to answer these 50 questions, and you will have to take a risk in the next means in the next round, when you will be again going from 1 to 120. You will be taking a lot of risk, because those are the answers that you don't know. You are not sure about the answer. In some questions you are 50% sure, in some questions you are might be 25-75 sure. Okay, so first attempt, only the answers that you are 100% sure. Second attempt, after assessing, after calculating what is the difficulty level of that paper, you need to calculate how much question you can take a risk with. Okay, if the question paper is easy, then you know that you have to take risk. If you, and suppose in the first round that you have attempted 60 questions, so you know that you have to take risk with around 30 questions, around 25-30 questions. You have to take risk because the paper is easy. A lot of students are gonna score more. So if you are not scoring more, you are already behind the competition. You are already out of the competition. So that is the time then that you have to take few risks. But if you know that the paper is average, means the paper is a standard paper, and you have scored above 50% correctly, so you know that you don't have to take a lot of risk. Okay, see, you need to understand one thing, okay, out of 120 questions, you don't have to answer all the questions. That is the strategy. You don't need to answer all of the questions. You don't need to know the answers to all of the questions. You only need to know the answers to the common questions. That much. Last year in Aiapget 2022, the All India won, the All India first ranker. Her marks was 372 out of 480 questions. Her marks were 372. So that way you can calculate how many questions she must have left in the exam. Okay, so you don't need to answer all the questions in the exam, because the exam is not meant to answer all the questions. You only need to answer that many questions where you reach somewhere around 360, 370, 375. If you are reaching this, last year AIPTT rank holder 1 was 372. If you are scoring anywhere between 350 to 360, 70, then you are already cracking the exam. So don't take tension that there are a lot of questions that I am not able to answer, because even the toppers are not able to answer. Huh? So that was your two things that you need to do while you are taking the exam. Okay, just remember these two things. Now the important thing that I want to discuss are the gold and halwa topics. Okay, the topics that, yeah. Okay, so first of all, let us discuss about, see, I'll be telling you the basic topics that you need to study to appear in the exam. First of all, let us discuss the practice of medicine part. See, in this practice of medicine, I would say there are four systems. Four systems that from the questions from these four systems are consistently being asked. Just a second. Yeah. So these four systems are, first of all is your CVS, okay, the cardiovascular system. Then your respiratory disease. You will see that from these systems consistently questions are being asked from 2019. From question has been asked from 2019, again in 20, again in 21, again in 22. So you can expect that these systems, you will get questions from these systems in 2023 as well. So the systems are CVS, respiratory diseases, then neurological diseases. Neurological diseases, there are multiple questions, not just one questions. There are multiple questions that are being asked from neurological diseases under practice of medicine. So these three, and one more is your this one, urinary system. Urinary system. These four systems are a must. Apart from all these four systems, if you have studied these four systems, then you can study this blood. Okay, you can study this blood chapter. So these five systems, I would recommend you to absolutely study for practice of medicine. Next is your anatomy. Now, anatomy, what happens is there is a kind of alternation. Like the one year the question will be asked from upper limb, next year question won't be asked. 1 year the question will be asked from thorax, next year it won't be asked. So for this 2023, I would recommend you to study upper limb, lower limb, because if you notice, you will see that no questions has been asked in 2022. Questions were asked from upper limb and lower limb in 2020 and then in 2021. So last year there were no questions asked from upper limb, lower limb. So I would recommend that you study in anatomy, just study this upper limb, lower limb and head and neck. Okay, because last time that a question was asked from head and neck in anatomy, that was in 2020. In these two years, probably not means in these 2 years, no questions were asked from head and neck. So upper limb, lower limb, head and neck. Next, physiology. Physiology also, you need to study few systems from where questions are consistently being asked every year. You will get questions every year. And of course, physiology, you will see one question or two questions will be asked from almost all the systems. One question will be asked from all the systems. But I'm not going to suggest you to study all the systems. I'm just going to suggest you few systems that you need to study in physiology. So the first system is blood. Consistently, you will get questions from way back from 2019, 20, 21, 22 questions are being asked. Then CVS, cardiovascular system. Continuously questions are being asked from previous years. Excretory system, very important. And nervous system. So these four systems for physiology. Next, in FMT, I would recommend you study toxicology this year. Okay, because last year in Aiapget 2022 there were no questions from toxicology, and in 2019 there was a question from toxicology. 2020 there was a question from toxicology. 2021 there was a question from toxicology, but 2022 there were no questions from toxicology. So very high chance that you might get questions from toxicology. And from FMT, study death. As FMT is in itself a very small subject. If you study FMT, probably you will be able to complete entire FMT in around 600 to 700 MCQs. And studying these 600 to 700 MCQs shouldn't take you more than half a day. At the most, it might take you 1 day. So if you are dedicating 1 day to FMT, you will be able to score a lot of questions. Like whatever the questions are being asked, whether it's from toxicology, whether it's from general FMT, you will be able to answer. So I would recommend not to leave FMT, any portion of FMT, but just my recommendation, itna to at least minimum you have to study, that is toxicology, and from general FMT, study death. From gynae, I would recommend to study menstruation, because that is the main chapter under gynecology. In 2021, there was question being asked. 2022 question was being asked from menstruation. So you can expect question in 2023 as well. Okay. Next, endometriosis and adenomyosis. That is a very important topic for this year, because no questions has been asked from this particular chapter in the past 2 years. So you can expect that you might get at least one question from the endometriosis and adenomyosis this year. And another 2 topics is contraception and PID and STDs. These 2 topics from gynecology, because contraception will simultaneously cover your both topics, this topic from community medicine also. And these 2 topics, there has been no question in 2022, whereas there was question from 2021 and 2019 also. So you will see that contraception and PID has every year every alternate year questions are being asked. In 2019 there was a question from this, 2020 there was no question, 2021 there was question from this, 2022 there was no question. So 23 is a very important year for these 2 topics. And whatever doubts you are having, you just write down in the chat below. Once we are done, we'll just go through the chat. Whatever doubts you have, preparation you are not able to prepare, whatever doubt that is coming in your mind, just write down in the chat. I'll try to clarify all of those doubts. Now, social and preventive medicine means the community medicine. So the important topic that you need to study is epidemiology. Now, this is a very confusing and a very difficult topic, but you will get questions from this particular chapter. Next is nutrition. Previously, in 2019, 2021, questions were continuously being asked from nutrition. In 2022, you will not find any question from nutrition. So 2023, you can expect question from nutrition because nutrition is a very favorite chapter of the examiner. So last year there was no question. So 2023 there might be a question, and same is for environment also.
In fact, in nutrition, the nutrition is such a very nice chapter. It can be asked from any plant. From the community medicine side of plant, they can ask you the values, what amount of vitamin is needed, what amount of vitamin you have to give at which age. It can be asked in pediatric, that means pediatric age group, how many mLs of the vitamin A is given. It can be asked in the medicine, like that of clinical feature of the xerophthalmia, clinical feature of night blindness, anything. It can be asked in case of surgery also, pathology, physiology. In any subject, this nutrition chapter is such a nice chapter. It can be asked in any ways. So don't leave this chapter.
Yeah, so the PSM epidemiology we have done, then nutrition we have done, environment, same is for environment. Earlier questions were continuously getting asked from environment. So 2023 environment is important. Then study communicable disease. In communicable disease, 2019 there were few questions, not one. There were 3 questions from communicable disease in 2019. 2020 there were no questions. 21 there was 2 questions. 22 again no questions. So 2023 you can expect questions from communicable disease. And one last topic from from this community medicine is vaccination. Earlier questions were picked from vaccination. It is not getting picked since last 2 years. So you can expect questions from vaccination in 2023 also. Next. Okay, in surgery, I would recommend to study first important topic, that is breast, and second abdomen. In abdomen, there are multiple questions you will find being asked every year. 19 also, 20 also, 21 also, 22 also. So this year also you can expect that there might be few questions from abdomen also. And there are, I'm telling you, not just one question that are being asked from abdomen. There are multiple questions, around 3-4 questions that are being asked from this topic in these years. And yes, fracture. Surgery, study fracture also. Few topics of orthopedics also, because in 2019-20 questions were picked from this orthopedics. But 2021, 2022, you won't find any questions from orthopedics. So for 2023, I would recommend study orthopedics. High chance of getting MCQs. Next is homeopathic pharmacy. First important thing, and the most important thing that you can study in homeopathic pharmacy is the history and development of pharmacopoeias. Every year you will find question, at least one question you will find from this particular topic. Next is sources of drugs. And of course, vehicles. Vehicles also, every year you will find question, and also methods of preparation of drugs, the old method, the new method. So these 4 topics are very important from homeopathic pharmacy. Next is repertory. See, repertory, I would say, if you have to pick and choose from repertory, then choose Bonimosan, Kent, Boger. Means you will get single medicine, you will get rubric hunting from these repertories. You cannot neglect any of these repertories, because earlier what used to happen, there were more questions that were asked from Kent repertory. But of late, you will find that there are more number of questions that are being asked from BTPP and BBCR, and comparatively lesser questions or lesser rubric hunting that are being asked from Kent repertory. So give more stress on BTPP Boger. Then after studying these 2, then go and study Kent, because that is the priority that means that is how the exam is, the questions are getting asked from. And one another topic that you need to study are the evolution of repertories or the miscellaneous repertories, because you will get few questions, at least one question you can expect from these miscellaneous kind of repertories. Now the organon of medicine, I would say that you have to complete all the aphorisms, because you can get any question from anywhere. And organon, you might expect few concept based questions as well. There will be questions like about antipathy. They're like, see, in organon there are questions which are concept based. Okay, in organon which are location based, means aphorism, asking about this has been mentioned in which aphorism, this has been mentioned in which aphorism. But there are conceptual questions also in organon. Okay, and that will only develop if you have studied organon properly. They might be asking antipathy is mentioned in which aphorism. That is location based. But if they are asking about anything about antipathy or isopathy, that is a concept based question. So until unless you have studied organon thoroughly, you will be able to answer location based question. But if you have not studied thoroughly conceptually, then you won't be able to answer the concept based questions. So for organon of medicine, I would recommend first of all study the various editions of organon. Okay, 2022 there were no questions from this editions of organon, but 2023 you can expect questions from this various editions of organon. Then aphorism you have to study. Chronic disease also you will get questions from MISM. Every year you are getting questions. This year also you will get questions from MISM and Ken philosophy. Every year you are getting some question or the other, from evaluation of symptoms, from second prescription of Kent
These
philosophy.
are indispensable areas.
Yeah, these are areas which you cannot neglect. Means you are taking a very high risk if you are neglecting these areas. So that was organon of medicine. Materia medica, I have no suggestion for materia medica because no one can give you actual suggestion on materia medica. The only suggestion that I can give you is what Nada ma'am also said. Okay, you have to study Allen's keynote 1 hour every day. That is one way of studying. Second of all, I would say do a comparative study of materia medica. That will be a lot easier for you. Okay, suppose you have today I will study only the headaches and all the medicines of headaches. So that is how we also teach at Pulse also, and that is how I recommend even you to study. Okay, suppose today I am studying headache, tomorrow I will be studying all the mental symptoms. Day after next I will be studying all the fever symptoms and doing a lot of comparisons. Case understanding what is the headache of belladonna, what is the headache of aconite, and just picking the keywords. Okay, this is the word in aconite. If along with headache, then that is aconite. If along with headache, if this word is there, then that is belladonna. Just like do a comparative study. Like I would recommend, since it is very less time now you have, don't like study medicine wise. You are opening abrotenum and then moving on to acetic acid, then moving on to next medicine, then moving on to next medicine and going until the last medicine. No, don't do that. I would recommend in these 2 months study materia medica in a comparative fashion.
Even though it is better to study materia medica at your tea table, at your lunch table, than dinner table with your friends. Tell me what's the medicine of that symptom.
Yeah, because that is how you will be able to recollect and remember medicines. That is how you will be able. What we had done in our time, studying materia medica, we just created a Facebook group. Not exactly a Facebook group. Facebook का क्या chat होता है? Messenger group something. So we created a messenger group, and in that group there were few students, few serious students. Okay, yes. few serious students, very serious students who were preparing. So we were around 4-5 students. One student used to post one symptom, and we used to answer what is the medicine. If we get it right, fine. If we don't get it right, then we go and just remember that medicine. Okay, so this is the difference. That suppose if this is the line, then this is the line in this medicine. These are symptoms in this medicine. So that is how we used to study materia medica. Okay. So
it will also save your time, because
yeah, it will also,
if 10 people in the group, so 10 will work for one question. So it will save the time for 10 people.
Correct. Next, let us do OBS. In OBS, I would recommend you to study antenatal care and antenatal assessment of fetal well-being. Okay, antenatal care and assessment of fetal well-being. This is one important area in OBS. Next important area is puerperium. Puerperium is very important for this year. Next is normal labor. Normal labor, there hasn't been any question that is asked from the last 2 years. So in 2023, you can absolutely expect one question from normal labor. And yes, this topic, abortion, ectopic pregnancy, and GTD. This topic is very important for 2023. Okay, so I think we have covered all the subjects, and These are just my recommendations that you need to study. Now, the important thing is that I have recommended you to study all these, right? But you just don't need to study once. You need to do revisions, because if you study all these topics and you don't do revision, then take it from me, you are not going to remember anything. So studying is important, but revision is equally important.
Even though revision is the key to success.
Hmm.
The revision is rather much more important than the study. Revision is very important, essential.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So last thing that I would I would just like to share, or I would just like to talk about is, see, on the day of your exam. Okay. I think the exam timing is from 2 p.m. I think ऐसा ही कुछ timing अभी है ना, day का timing होता है, not morning timing. Yeah. So in the on the day of the exam, see, you will be having around 2 hours, 3 hours of solid study time. Okay, you will be able to study because
Morning time.
and I would recommend not to wake up at 10 a.m. On the day of the exam, because you will be wasting your time. After the exam, you can sleep as much as you like. But on the day of the exam, do remember to wake up early, and for that, do remember to sleep early the day before the exam. I would not recommend to study late at night on the night before the exam. Don't study till 12 p.m., 2 p.m. because on the day of the exam, you have to be fresh. If your mind is not fresh, a lot of things, you might end up doing a lot of silly mistakes. You might end up not recollecting common MCQs that you knew, that you know you knew the answer to, but you're not able to recollect it. Why? Because your brain is fag. In medical, we have studied na brain fag, like so on the day of the exam, you need to keep your mind very clear. You need to keep your mind very sharp, and you have to have this calmness in your mind. So on the day of the exam, wake up early, start your revision. On the day of the exam, revise as much as you can. If possible, revise everything, because I did that. And at that time, we had exam from around 12 p.m. Yeah. So, but even though in 2-3 hours time, I revised everything. Like revising obviously doesn't mean that you will be studying everything. No, just turn the pages. That is as good as revising, because this thing is gonna help you in the exam.
That you can do in this 1 month, 23-day preparation. You will underline or mark those areas which you will decide to revise at the day of examination. Mark with the green pen, mark with the other highlighter pen, anything else that you will supposed to revise on the day of examination.
Hmm. So make sure that you are revising properly. And there's one pathology that I have missed, but I haven't missed actually. Pathology, whatever you are studying for the system that you are studying in physiology and medicine, just go through the pathology portion of those as well. And obviously, the general pathology is very important. Okay. Apart from the systemic pathology, if there is just one thing that you need to study in pathology, study the general pathology. Okay, because that will cover a lot of small portions from where you can get MCQs.
From general pathology, that is malignancy area, and inflammation, malignancy, repair, healing. That is
mostly. On the exam day, one more important thing, that you are waking up early, you are revising everything. Okay. Now, wherever your exam center is, okay, if possible, 1 day before or 2 day before, just go and check the exam center so that you know the route. Okay. Exactly. There shouldn't be anything, any happening thing happening in the morning of that exam day. Okay. Nothing that is gonna put you on a stress. Okay. Suppose if you have gotten out and going to your exam center, if you are going to your exam center, and just in case, even if you have taken a wrong route, okay, even if you have taken a wrong route, if you have gotten stuck in some jam, in some traffic, these things will clog your mind. You will start panicking in these situations. Okay, so the day before the exam, before the exam, just make sure which is the best route that you need to take on that day. Okay. Absolutely. Because that day you don't hunt for going out, and you don't hunt for taxis, for going for and searching for cabs. Cabs is not showing, cabs is delaying, they are getting cancelled. No. Make proper arrangement that on the day of the exam, these kind of harassments are not there. Book a cab in advance. Even if it takes a few money that you have to pay, extra money that you have to pay, that you need to pay, that might require you. But make sure that there are no harassments. Okay, wake up early, revise, leave on time, have your meal properly. Okay,
Water.
yeah, have your take water, drink plenty of water before exam also, and take that water bottle with you also. Okay, so these are the things that are very important for you. If you have now any doubts, we'll
Not that much plenty that you have to know.
इतना मत पी लेना that every 10 minutes you have to leave for the exam, because you won't be allowed to do that. Okay, so
do what is required.
If you have any doubts now, you can just write down and we'll try to answer. Eligibility cutoff date internship की बढ़ेगी. See, बढ़ेगी कि नहीं बढ़ेगी, we don't know that. Okay, these are what the NTI has decided. So it is better that you accept what they have decided. Okay, instead of thinking whether exam is gonna get delayed, is gonna get postponed, whether your internship is getting. See, these things are not in our control, right? If it gets postponed, fine for you. That will be a bonus. If it doesn't get postponed, that is what they have declared. So understand what they have declared is true. And exam is gonna happen on that day of the exam. Then Sandhya is saying, sir, please, most important topics, date, subject, rough idea, that I have already discussed.
Just discussed. One question is how much. Any question from expert from ENT? I already told that ENT come into a miscellaneous topic. Now, ENT, eye, dental, microbiology, pediatrics, all together this consists about 1 to 5 questions. Okay, so reading ENT and deciding one topic, important topic, is very difficult. No one knows which topic come or not. So this is just if anyone have studied in their BHMS life or by the knowledge of practicing the MCQ, if anyone could be able to do the ENT question, that is very much, or you can left that question, just one question. For one question, it is not necessary to go through the different disorders. Even though if you want to study ENT, so you can study the otitis media, that is acute and chronic otitis media.
Acha, next. Yeah, Vidhan Makwana is asking tips for time management. Tips for time management. See, you have around 1 month, kitna days? 23 days.
Yeah.
So you
from
have
tomorrow now.
So see, time management, I would say, from now on, you need to schedule. And this time management will be different for all the students. My time management will be different from your time management. Why? Because what topics I know, what subject I find easy, what subject I find difficult is very much different from yours. So you need to, first of all, schedule and see, I would recommend, first of all, study all the scoring subjects. Okay. The subjects from where it is very easy to score. The data-based MCQs, like from Ops and Gynae, you only need to know few datas, and based on those datas, you can answer this your MCQ in the exam. So Gynae and Ops is very scoring. FMT, very short subject. You will be, if there are 5 questions from FMT, I expect you will be able to answer all the 5 questions if you have studied one day for FMT.
Exactly.
Similarly, for homeopathic pharmacy, if you study 1 day pharmacy or at the most 2-day pharmacy, you will be able to answer all questions from pharmacy. Okay, so first of all, divide your days. First of all, make a list. These are the topics, these are the subjects that you find easy. Divide your days. First of all, make a list. These are the topics, these are the subjects that you find easy. That list will be different from the list of your friends. So don't look what topic they are finding. You just write down, make a list. These are the topics that you find easy. Write down homeopathic pharmacy easy. Like suppose if I have to make a list, homeopathic pharmacy, I'll write FMT, I'll write community medicine. So these are the topics that are first of all very easy. Second of all, they are simultaneously very scoring because there are just few data that you need to know. And see, when you are studying a subject, okay, you don't have to study all the chapters. Okay. Just study the chapters which are important for the exam and which are the common chapters from where, if an examiner, just understand the mentality of the examiner. If an examiner has to pick up 5 questions from community medicine, then what are the topics or what are the chapters from where the examiners will pick up the questions? Okay. Just think it that way. What are the important topics in this? What are the first 5 topics that I need to study in PSM, in community medicine, and this will also depend what are the topics in PSM in community medicine that you find easy. I might find easy environment in nutrition very important, very easy. I might find epidemiology very easy. I might find this demography very easy. You might not find those easy, right? So first study what you find easy. You know the topic very well. So first study those topics, and then go on to the topics that are difficult for you. Go on to the subjects that are that you find difficult, like practice of medicine. Few people might find difficulty in those studying those topics, in those few topics from few systems from practice of medicine. So study those topics at the last. First complete those topics, first complete the subjects which are easy and more scoring. Okay, because ultimately no one, after your exam, no one is gonna ask what are the topics that you studied. Like you must be knowing seniors, you must be knowing toppers who have cracked exam in the past. Have you ever asked what are the topics that you did not study, or what are the topics you found difficult? No one asked that, because ultimately what matters is okay, they cracked the exam.
One thing you can do for saving time, that you can left one subject but not totally. As for example, you can left anatomy or PSM, not the important subject, not the FMT, anatomy and PSM like subject, and not totally left. You can just left the textbook portions or the paragraph portion, and on that subject you can just only go through the MCQ practicing and the test paper old 5 years questions. You just left the paragraph or study material of that one. One thing you can do, because if hardly question will ask from that area, that is not more than 4 or 5 questions. Okay.
So that is how you need to manage your time. Write down the topics in order of its easiness according to you, and in order of scoringness. Like you find this topic is scoring, write down that first, and simultaneously allot time. In pharmacy, how much time do you think you see? You are not a student that is gonna start preparing now, right? You have been preparing. You at least know few ideas. You have few ideas. You know this subject at least, right? So you also know how much time you will need to prepare this topic. Right. Write down homeopathic pharmacy. Write down 2 days. If you think that you might require it 3 days, write down 3 days. Write down anatomy. If you think that you require it 4 days, write down 4 days. Okay. So that way, write down the days and then just stick to your routine. Okay. So that is how you will manage your time.
So one is that how to read Boric. Now Boric is very vast, but for Boric or any materia medica, what Dr. Taha said, that comparative study. Any materia medica, whether it is Boric, whether it is Allen or any materia medica, you have to study in comparative fashion. And second, for Boric, you can go for italic lines. In Boric, whatever written in italic, that is important, and question come from that italic area, not that common lines. Okay, and one more for Boric important, that is some small medicines are given under the main medicine, like that of in calcarea car. They are giving some small calcarea group of other medicines in the lower section. So you can go for that short medicines. Question might come from that short medicine and that italic lines.
Right now, I would not recommend you to open Boric,
Yes.
to open Nash, to open these and these books.
Right now, only Allen.
I would also not recommend you to open Allen. Just do a comparison study and study it that way. Okay. And if my recommendation is you study from if you have gotten any MCQ from Boric, just remember those MCQs. Don't open Boric right now.
Still now, no any textbook. Presently, no any textbook. Only guidebooks, MCQ books, test paper, MCQ practice, what you have done earlier, not new. Only revision and re-study. No new things.
Next, Soumya Srivastav is saying sometimes after giving test, negative marks and constantly getting same range of rank demotivates. What to do? This is very common. See, whenever you are attempting any test, be it in Pulse, be it anywhere, suppose you are even like opening a previous year paper and attempting the paper. The paper is designed that there will be few portions that you will be able to answer. There will be few questions that you won't be able to answer, and there will be few questions that you might be hearing for the first time. So the paper is designed that way. There is nothing to demotivate you. The paper is designed that way. There will be questions, there will be easy questions, there will be difficult questions, and there will be very difficult questions. So there is nothing that you should feel demotivated about. See, attempt the paper, okay, just find out in the paper if there are any common questions that you couldn't answer, if there are any common topics that you know okay, the topic is important but you couldn't answer the question from those topics. Now those are the topics that you should be studying, those are the topics that you should be at least giving a thought okay, if a question has been asked, suppose from ECG, you will see that in ECG almost since the last 3 years questions are being asked. So if a question hasn't been asked, if a question is there in from ECG and you are not able to answer, then you just go and open up and just recollect a bit of ECG and try to answer, recall, try to understand why were you not able to answer. Okay, but if a question is asked from such a rare portion that you haven't heard about, there is nothing to feel demotivated about it, because that is the question that each and every student is gonna leave. No student is gonna attempt that. Each and every student is gonna leave. No student is gonna attempt that question. Next is question dated by Odisha State. Shweta is asking, Odisha State exam is coming very soon. How can I prepare for both the exam? See, for both the exam the syllabus is same. So if you are preparing for one,
general knowledge is a separate thing that you can prepare by current affair books or anything else. That is a separate thing.
So if you are preparing for one, you will be able to even attempt the Odisha PSC, and in Odisha PSC, I think there are no negative markings, so that is a benefit for you. Next, Ekta is asking how many hours for physiopathomedicine. See, there are no fixed hours I would recommend. If for physiopathomedicine, I might complete physiopathomedicine say in 24 hours. You might require it say 36 hours, 72 hours. So my hours and your hours are different.
For that, I told that you just give a test or evaluate yourself that how much good you in physiopathomedicine, how much time is required to complete this physiopathomedicine. Then you will decide how much you will give to your physiopathomedicine. But you won't left this because a huge number of questions is coming from this area. You have to attempt this.
The Pragati Apte is asking, please can you tell the distribution of daily hours of study? Distribution of daily hours of study. Say similarly, as I told, okay, just make a list of all the subjects and write down the number of hours or the number of days that you will be requiring for those subjects. And accordingly said, okay, suppose you require 6 hours for ops, or suppose you require 10 hours for ops, you require 8 hours for gynae.
No, she is asking for daily hours. Daily hours, for daily hours, you are in daily 1 a day. How many hours you will get? 24 hours. Okay. Out of this 24 hour, 6 to 8 hours sleep, either 6 or 8. Then how much you left? 16 hours or 18 hours. So with this 16 hours, you have to divide this 16 hours into 2 hour slot or 1 hour slot as the capacity of your brain. From the science knowledge, after 45 minutes, we have to change the topic. We have to change the subject by the knowledge of biology. But we can run our mind for 1 hour, 2 hour also. So with this 16 hours, you can divide this in 1 hour for your all the other things like bathing, eating, lunching, dinner, everything. And remaining 14 to 15 hours, you can divide to 2 hours for allied subject or homeopathy subject, and 1 hour, remember, is daily for materia medica. That 1 hour will also come in this 15 hours.
Yeah, see, if you are not sleeping, then I expect you are studying. Okay. If you are not sleeping, then you are studying. And sleeping means max to max you are sleeping for 8 hours. Don't sleep for 12 hours. Okay. Max to max 8 to 10 hours. 10 hours is the max that you can sleep. Don't sleep more than that, and don't sleep
Those
less than 6 hours.
Don't sleep 10 hours. 8 hours is sufficient.
Yeah. So don't sleep beyond 8 hours and don't sleep less than 6 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So sleep between 6 to 8 hours, and beyond this, whatever time you are getting, you are studying. And the time, the daily timings that I was saying. Okay, suppose you have allotted 10 hours to ops, 8 hours to gynae, suppose 4 hours to FMT. So you said today I'll studying 2 hours of I'll study 2 hours ops, 2 hours gynae, 1 hour FMT, 1 hour materia medica. You make a routine like that. Next day, you will be again studying 2 hours ops, 2 hours gynae. To do that, or this is very subjective. I can study, like suppose I can study entire 10 hours only ops, that I wish to complete entire ops in one day. So I'll make a routine where I'll be studying 10 hours ops. So that is very subjective. Distribution of pathway. Please come to which topics are important. I have already done that. What about
Yes,
endocrinology? You
one
can leave that.
question. Miss retina. The name
Okay.
is retina. Do the question repeat from pulse test series. I don't know the name of this student, but the question is, do the question repeat from pulse test? Definitely, you must get the question from pulse, because we design the papers in such a manner, we make modules, we make study materials that you will get benefited from that. Okay, but no one knows whether it will come or not. But we will design, and in the past years,
in the past few years, what we have noticed is whatever questions that are conducted in Pulse, okay, you will find a lot of questions and a lot of direct questions.
Yes,
okay,
exactly
same questions you will find, that these were the questions in your test and these are the questions that are in your exam.
Because there are some areas where there is no chance of modification. The staining is a staining. Postmortem liberty of carbon monoxide is same. No one can change it. So those areas, if we know that these questions are important, this comes frequently, we will do practice on those questions in the mock test or subject test, in any test. And that question, if come in the exam, that will come same as that it is.
In 2021, Aiapget 2021, I think there were 72 questions that were common questions in the final exam from
test paper and study
from
material
the
both.
test papers. On the test paper and study materials, there were 72 questions that, like, if a student has studied only the study material and the test paper, they should have been able to answer the 72 questions absolutely correctly. So that is important. Next is I don't know what language he has written. Anyways, PSM weightage. You can expect around six questions from community medicine. So that is the weightage of PSM. And Anupama is saying, after PID, what topic you said? I said STD. So UPSC homeopathic medical officer strategy bataiye. See, I have already made a video on this homeopathic medical officer strategy. How do you prepare? This video is already in my YouTube channel. You can just go and check that out. Time management for main exam. I think we have already discussed that. Patho topics we have discussed. How many marks are required for qualifying? Same. That depends. That depends on the standard of paper. How much you need to score. That depends on the paper.
And that also one thing in the examination hall. By viewing the paper, you people decide what will be the cutoff. Because by reading the question, we will understand the standard of question. If the question is too hard for you, that is also hard for the other student also, and the cutoff will down. What you are asking, what is the scoring for getting rank? So if it is too harder, the cutoff is automatically down. If it is moderate, cutoff is moderate, about 80% to 90. If the cutoff is, if the questions are very easy, cutoff automatically increases.
Okay, so one Shrishti is asking, sir, am I eligible for exam because my intern will complete in November 2023? See, as of now, I think the internship completion date is end of September, I think. End of September. If going by that, you are not eligible.
Not eligible.
Whether you will be eligible, whether the date will be extended, we have no idea of that. If it will be extended, we'll notify you. Is sufficient? Pooja Singh is asking, is pulse material sufficient? See, I would say pulse material is absolutely sufficient. Along with that, you need to study the test papers also. Because pulse material is only material, right? That is helping you to solve the MCQs. But if you are simultaneously solving the MCQs, then you are getting a lot of MCQs, because you are getting around 60 papers in the test.
And what I told now, whatever you have studied, whether you have studied Davidson also, if you have no practice of MCQ now, you won't be able to do answers in the examination hall. Even though you do the examination answer in the examination hall, it will take a long time. So what the Dr. Taha said is very nicely, that along with the study material, you have to practice on the MCQs, test papers.
RK Vajja is asking, please tell me the best coaching center for AIPGT. Not only the best, the only coaching center that is worthy enough to prepare you for the exam is Pulse.
Pulse.
Okay, next. Sir, I joined Pulse on May last. How can I go through recorded lecture by this time? Is it possible? Yes, it is absolutely possible. Whatever recorded lectures that you are getting, just go through those lectures and make a note simultaneously. Okay, next is as it is my first attempt, may a guidance that example. Which book should I refer? Only for 2 months. As my personal issues, I was not able to study these past months. Yeah, see, the books that you need to refer, and this is a very common question also. Now is the time that you need to focus more on MCQs, not on textbooks. Don't go and open Mahapatra, don't go and open Davidson, okay, don't go and open DC Datta. So now concentrate more on MCQs. Try to solve more and more MCQs. If you are solving an MCQ, say from community medicine, if you are solving an MCQ and you come across a topic, or you come across something that is very that you don't know the answer to, and not only that, you don't even know the topic, then you go back and study that topic. Say you are seeing a question from biostat. Okay, you don't know anything about biostat. Two things that you can do. If you have time, go back to park and study biostat a bit, just a bit of the question that was being asked, just few lines on the topic, so that you have a background idea, or you can just easily remember that okay, fine, this is the question and this is the answer. This is the least that you can do in these 2 months. Okay, if you have time, study park. If you don't have time, just remember the answer to that question.
It's better to go just question answer for test papers, and if more than that, study material note type of things will be helpful for you.
31st August is the intern completion date. Okay, maybe 31st August. I think somewhere I heard 31st September it was, but anyways 31st August. So, sir, obscure topics, right? I know I have already discussed those topics. How to prepare while working a 9 to 6 job?
That what we will do.
How to prepare while
Just
working?
give attendance and prepare your AIPGet. Just give the attendance at 9 a.m. Prepare your AIPGet notes, and then again give attendance at 6 p.m.
No, see, for a 9 to 6 job, if you are into a 9 to 6 job, then you are actually getting every day at the most you'll be able to study 2 hours.
Only he or she will.
2 hours, 3 hours.
Getting just 2
Radha,
hours or 3
Radha,
hours.
Mahesh.
So he or she, whatever, you are just getting 2 or 3 hours free.
That is the maximum amount of
job. What kind of job? 9 to 6. What kind of job?
That also depends what kind of job. If you can study while in your job.
Yes, when we are doing our house stuff, we have prepared in our internship time. Right. So we are doing the internship and also preparing. And in fact, when I'm preparing for UPSC, I'm in MD admission. Within 2 or 3 days, I'm cracked the UPSC. You are saying job, I'm in the haphazard manner, running for the MD admission, paper here and there. Instead of that, I'm getting UPSC. So this doesn't matter what kind of job, what time you are getting, that is important. Every day, if you are giving at least 10 to 12 hours for your free time, free mind study for 10 to 12 hours, that will, I think.
Yeah, so I would recommend to concentrate a bit less in job, these at least 2 months, and after that you can do the work or do your duties full-fledgedly. But for the 2 months, just try to study as much as you can in job or after job. I think that is going to help you. So there are so many drugs, common names, and class provers. Provers. That's also important. Yes, those are important. Make a list of all those, and that is how you will study. Okay, make a list. This prover has proved so many medicines. This prover has proved so many medicines. That is how you will be able to study. Anuja is asking, from where should I start giving mock test?
When should I start giving?
When should I start giving mock test?
From now, because time is less. Time is very less. Actually, the procedure there is that after preparing some subject, you have to give the mock. But as we have very less time, so just after 1 week or from now, you can give mock test.
See, I always recommend any student, start giving mock from day 1. Whether you have prepared the topic, where you have not prepared the topic, doesn't matter. You start giving the mock test. The reason being, there are few portions that you prepare through the lectures, through the study materials. Okay, and there are few portions that you prepare from the mocks, from the tests.
Yeah.
So as many tests as you give, the better for you. And giving these mocks will do one more important thing, that is, it will prepare you for time management. Okay, because if you are suppose appearing in a subject mock, if you are appearing in a test which has only pharmacy MCQs, so you are having 50, 100 MCQs only of pharmacy. Okay, but when you are attempting a mock, you will see that there are only 3-4 questions from pharmacy, and that is important because out of 100 questions in pharmacy, you might be able to answer 70-80 questions, but whether you are able to answer any question from pharmacy out of those 3-4 questions, that is important. Okay, that way you will also be able to understand what are the important topics from where the questions are being picked, what are the important topics, what are the hot topics from pharmacy that you get question. So always give mock from day one. Important topic from CNS. Important topic from CNS. CNS ही तो important
for that you have
इसके अंदर में तो
for that you have to go for a proper class.
Keynotes made easy. Sir, it's possible to complete the syllabus in 2 months. Till now, we are just able to make notes. I am a fresher. Thank you so much for your valuable time.
Already, बोलोगे?
It is possible to complete the syllabus in 2 months. Till now, we are just
already. I told now, no one knew nothing. You are fresher. For fresher, I just say, please go for MCQs. Just question, answer, and if you get ready-made explanation over there, then go to the explanation. Otherwise, don't open the textbook. For fresher, don't for fresher or anyone who have prepared for last 6 months also, don't open textbook now. Only the guidebooks which you have studied, the underlined quoted things, because this is competition. This is not fail and pass. That I have read this much, I have to score 40% or 50%, I have passed. No, this is competition. Who has scored more, that will be selected. Who is not, that will be rejected. So you have to study in the pattern in which you are going to give the exam. That is only one way in short time is MCQ. Reading MCQ and little bit explanation if you are getting ready-made over there. Not searching for not wasting your time for searching in the textbook. And along with that, practice MCQ from any MCQ book, from test paper, from last 5-year question. That is very, very important. This is you are not taking it lightly. Last 5-year questions are very important question.
Last 5-year questions, so you must
solve. For freshers even.
Yeah, whether you know the topic, you don't know the topic, last 5-year questions should be at the tip of your finger. Any questions you get from last 5 years, you should know the answer to. 2 questions repertory. There are 2 questions from repertory.
2 questions. How to memorize date of history and evolution of repertory? It becomes very confusing in time of solving question. I told that for year, keep last day, because whatever we have studied recently, they are keeping in our mind. Even though for studying the year of repertory, if you are taking class of repertory in Pulse class, whoever taking the class, they are very nicely explaining you. As for example, I'm giving the example of Boeing was saying. The Boeing was saying that 3 repertory are over there. One is in 35, one is in 36, and another is I think 47, right? And in all together comprising, they will give a main common book, that is the therapeutic pocket book, that is published in 46. So there is some hierarchy, 35, 36, 46, 47. So making a chain in between the years, that might be a way to memorize, or making some mnemonics. So that is not possible in this 2-hour session. That
the history and evolution of repertory, I would say. The history and evolution of repertory is a 2-page thing.
Yeah.
Okay. The entire history and evolution of repertory, you can complete it in just 2 pages. In Pulse study material, there are, I think that is in 1.5 or 2 pages. So if you study it, it is easy to remember because all the dates has been mentioned in chronological order. Okay. Right from starting from 1870 to like 1790, so all the dates have been mentioned in chronological order. That is very easy to remember. That is not a difficult thing, I would say, because I myself have remembered that. So there's 2 pages you can easily remember, not a thing to worry. अच्छा वो एक rubric hunting का भी question है.
Again, rubric hunting. For rubric hunting, there is why we people asking this question, because for rubric hunting from my side when I am studying. There is a proper guideline. In fact, in repertory, in the philosophy part, the textbook of repertory, the philosophy part, it is clearly written how you will search the rubric, how you will hunt the chapters. There is a proper schema, and they are exceptional also are written over there. There is exception which is not following that rules. So if you know the rule, you can easily hunt the rubrics. So it is not possibly hunt the rubrics. So it is not possible to do the class in this 2 hour session. For that, you have to see the class of Pulse, repertory class of Pulse, because for that we need proper time, na, proper notes. By yourself you can see if you have BTBB textbook, original textbook. In the philosophy, it has been written which symptom will become under erectation chapter, which symptom will become in the menstruation chapter, which symptom will confine to the rectum